So you've seen a little bit of Keith's Jeep in the past. Here we are again. We're solving our first issue with Keith and his Jeep. And it is, he just doesn't fit. Keith's a big guy.
Yes.
And the seat's all the way back, and he's on the dash. His passenger's on the dash, so we need to modify some things. We're gonna move the seat back a couple inches just to make him fit a little better. So here's Keith in action taking the seat bolts out. You know, in case nobody can figure this out, there are 4 bolts holding down the seat. And stock configuration is captured nuts under the floor. Bolts just go down through. Pretty straightforward stuff. Even Keith can handle it.
That's right.
So we have some holes marked in the floor, measured back, whatever dimension Keith had went with. What'd you go with?
It was like 3 3/4.
3 3/4. We wanted to keep a little bit of a cushion from the radius here. So we went ahead and drilled some holes back 3 3/4-ish. We'll figure that out in the back later. We know we have room. We mapped it out earlier. So our plan is we're actually going to build studs in here. So we went ahead and bent up some pieces of 1/8 inch by 1/2 inch or so bar stock. We're going to take one of these 3/8 bolts. We're going to weld it onto that. And then we can fish it through this hole and back up through the hole where the seat's going to mount and actually kind of recreate a stud, because that's all solid under there. There's no good way to get in there. So we're going to build these little tabs to enable us to install some studs, at least for the front seat bolts. So the 3/8/16 studs are welded in place. We went ahead and welded them to the floor here. Had to grind both sides for clearance for the seat. But we used, of course, the tabs just to get them in position so we could hold them in place while we welded them. So that gives us 2 nice solid mounting tabs up front. We'll move to the back. All right, so that's the new seating position all the way back. Look how much room Keith has by his knees. Remember the earlier video, he had not much room, so now you can go ahead and slide it forward. So when us normal height people get in there to drive, I mean, he can cram himself right up against the dash again.
Yep.
So should be a good range of adjustability. It'll work for a guy that's 6'4"-ish or whatever you are, 6'4"? Yeah, 6'4"-ish. Also back down to us 6-foot guys, and maybe even some of them 5-foot-something-er guys. So way better. Now we just need to get the rear holes done. So the seat is 100% bolted in now. We can see we've moved the frame back a bunch. 3 3/4 inches. Original hole was way up here. Moved it all the way back there. They need to deal with that now. Of course, you're all the way back. That's not your riding position.
Correct.
But Keith now has a ton of room. Again, he's freakishly tall and needs the room. He's currently, are you all the way back or not even quite?
All the way back.
All the way back. So tons of room. So now we can move up to where you'd be driving. His knees still fit.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking that'll be pretty good right there. Not hit my knee, my
Yeah, very nice.
shins there.
Successfully made a TJ more drivable for a Giant. So that wraps up the seat relocation project on this TJ. It fits Keith very well. It wasn't a real hard project. It took a little time. We had to do some rust repair in the process, but it's a pretty easy mod. Anybody could really handle it. We did some weird stuff to make studs. Doesn't necessarily have to be that way. You could cut a hole in the floor to get access. You could do a couple other things to do this if you don't have access to a welder. But with a welder, it made it real easy. So it was a great project. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe. We'll see you next time.